Welcome back. In this episode, we're going to be learning about child development principles and theories. Studying children and understanding child growth and development are two important parts of teaching young children. Development refers to change or growth starting at infancy and continues to adulthood. The basic patterns of child development have been studied for generations. Brain development occurs rapidly during the first 3 years of life, and it can affect lifelong outcomes in learning, behavior, and health. Theories of development can help caregivers understand how to best work with children. These theories provide insights into children's development. So join me, Miss Trott, as we learn all about child development principles and theories. Two main forces influence all areas of child's development: heredity and environment. Heredity refers to the characteristics a child inherits genetically from parents. Environment includes all the interactions, experiences, and events that influence a child's development. The study of child development is often divided into 3 developmental domains. These include physical, cognitive, and social-emotional development. Physical development refers to physical body changes in a relatively stable and predictable sequence. It includes bone thickness, organ development such as eyes, hearts, and muscles, and changes in size and weight. Physical skills needed to crawl, walk, and write also fall underneath physical development and have 2 categories: gross and fine motor development. Gross motor development involves improvement of skills in large muscles such as arms and legs, while fine motor development involves improving the skills of small muscles like of the hands and fingers. Cognitive development refers to the process people use to gain knowledge. Language and thought are a result of cognitive development. As children mature and gain experiences with their world, they develop these skills. Social and emotional development are grouped together because they are so interrelated. Learning to relate to others is social development. Emotional development involves feelings and expressions of feelings. The physical, cognitive, and social emotional areas of development are all interrelated. Each area is affected by and influences every other area. Which is more important for the developing brain, nature or nurture? Human development depends on both. The purpose of the brain is to store, use, and create information. The development begins before birth and continues into adulthood. The young brain is both receptive to positive influences and vulnerable to damages. For optimal development, excellent nutrition is needed before and after birth. In contrast to every other major body organ, the brain is not fully developed at birth. It contains about 100 million neurons, which are the building blocks of the brain that are poorly connected. The key to building the brain structure is through experiences and stimulation, where neurons become connected to each other and the most used connections are strengthened while other unused circuits are pruned away. These brain wiring connections, or neutrons, are called synapses. The brain is changed by adverse childhood experiences, which are experiences a child lives with that create toxic stress such as extreme poverty, severe neglect, maternal depression, exposure to violence, and substance abuse. We will be learning more about ACEs through your time in child development, so you can learn how to identify children's needs and help them overcome some of the adverse effects of their experiences. Science reveals that the architecture of a healthy brain is shaped through a responsive environment of nurturing relationships. The connection between nerve cells occur as a child interacts with the environment. Through serve and return interaction with caring and attentive people in their environment, children learn to think, feel, and act. Relationships with caregivers help children define who they are and what they can do. Through these relationships, children are motivated to learn to self-regulate their behaviors and learn self-control. Different parts of the brain develop at different times and rates. Studies show there are windows of opportunity that identify key times to provide appropriate stimulation for brain synapses to link easily and efficiently. Vision is birth to 6 months, vocabulary and speech is birth to 3 years of age, emotional control is birth to 3 years of age, Math and logical development is from 1 to 4 years old, and motor development is prenatal to 8 years old. After these key periods, chances for creating stable, long-lasting pathways in the brain tend to diminish. Learning will continue to occur throughout life. However, the mastery level may not be as high. Throughout history, childcare has been defined by differing viewpoints, committed educators, and changes in popular practice. Views have changed over time. Many people contributed to the understanding of how children grow and develop. All their work and beliefs have shaped the current practices about young children and early childhood education. Psychologists continue to study human development. They hold different theories about how people learn, grow, and develop. Since a variety of theorists exists, teachers need to understand these different approaches for working with young children. Theories will help you form your personal values and beliefs about learning. They will also help you understand strategies for promoting children's development. Chances are you will choose parts from a variety of theorists. We're going to take a look at 4 major theorists that are based on observation and experiences with children. Erik Erikson's theory provided new insight into the formation of a healthy personality, emphasizing the social and emotional aspects of growth. It includes 8 stages that occur throughout the lifespan and reflect feelings people bring to tasks. At each stage, a social conflict or crisis occurs. Let's look specifically at the stages birth through 3. From birth through the first year of life, children enter the first stage and learn to trust or mistrust their environment. The second stage, autonomy versus shame and doubt, occurs between 1 and 3 years of age. Toddlers are using their new motor and mental skills. They want to be independent and need to learn to make simple choices and decide for themselves. The objective is to gain self-control without the loss of self-esteem, which will result in autonomy, which is independence. Jean Piaget's thinking challenges teachers to focus on the ways children come to know us, as opposed to what they know. Piaget believed thinking was different during each stage of development, including how children perceive, think, understand, and learn about their world. He was interested in what knowledge is and how children acquire it. He is considered a constructivist, believing children build knowledge by being mentally and physically involved in learning activities. Lev Vygotsky is another constructivist, believing children learn by doing, but in the sense of social and cultural experiences. He believes that social interactions help children in the process of attaining values, customs, beliefs, and skills of a social group. Vygotsky believed that language is an important tool for thought and plays a key role in cognitive development. One of his most important contributions was the zone of proximal development, a scale of tasks in developmental levels that defines what children can do alone or with guidance and encouragement, and this is known as scaffolding. Howard Gardner has helped many teachers rethink how they work with young children and describe intelligence in terms of mental skills, talents, and abilities. This allows teachers to see positive attributes in all children and help guide teachers making curriculum decisions. Gardner's theories of multiple intelligences emphasizes that there are 8 potential pathways to learning, which include bodily kinesthetic, musical rhythmic, logical mathematical, verbal linguistic, interpersonal, intrapersonal, visual spatial, and naturalistic. Now let's review what we learned. Understanding child development will help make you a successful caregiver of early childhood. The study of child development is divided into 3 main areas: physical, cognitive, and social emotional development. Brain development occurs rapidly during the first 3 years of life. The connections between nerve cells are created as a child interacts with their environment. Therefore, infant care and interaction with caregivers is crucial to brain development. It can affect lifelong outcomes in learning, behavior, and health. Theories of development can help caregivers understand how to best work with children. These theories provide insights into children's development. Chances are you will choose parts from various theorists to develop your own values of education. That wraps us up for this episode. You can learn more about this topic by reviewing the resources posted in your course. As always, if you have any questions, please contact me or your instructor. Thanks for joining me, Miss Trott, as we learned all about child development principles and theories. See you next time.